Guys, so today I'm back and I'm gonna be doing a CTF from HacktheBoo, and I'm gonna be doing the first challenge for the web called Evaluation Deck. So I already solved this one. It did take me a little bit of time to figure out. I mean, I probably overcomplicated it, no idea, but it doesn't matter. So I have this started. I already downloaded the files, and let's take a quick. I guess let's just go to the site real quick. So here I have the site I'm using. I'm going to be using Burp Suite, and I'm using the browser it has. And it looks like there's some type of entity, and I guess selecting a card has some effect on it, right? And that's it. That's the whole concept. As you can see, there's a flips, and depending what you click on, you get health or lose health, right? So I have this in Burp Suite. Well, actually, before I get into that, let's look into the code real quick, right? So we have the flag in the root file, basic Docker file. We're gonna be using Flask. Yeah, I kind of just glanced at this. I mean, there's usually nothing really important, especially considering this is considered easy. So run util. We'll take a look at that one. Main. Just letting you know right now, nothing really important there. Static templates, don't really care. Routes. This one's really important. So the routes can, help us find hidden routes, or not necessarily hidden, but something, we can probably exploit. This is somewhere I guess I typically focus on the challenges that I do. It's usually where the vulnerability is. And if we look closely into the get health for the post, if we go down here for the try, we see there's a compile and exec. So clearly, that brings up, an alarm in my head, making me think, okay, we need to mess with this, right? So basically it checks if we make a post method to get health, it checks if it's the data being posted is JSON, like a dictionary, an object, however you want to see it as. It gets that data and then it parses it, right? So the variables that we need to pass in is current health, attack power, and operator. If the current health, if any of those are not available, if we don't provide them, then it just returns a 400 error. Easy enough, right? So this is where it gets juicy. So if we provide all those, then it's going to try to make a compile, which I mean, you could, if you're familiar with compiling, it just prepares the code. I mean, you can read this. Like, I'm not going to go in depth with it. I didn't really look into it that much, and I'm not going to try to explain it. If you want to learn exactly what compile does, it compiles exactly what it says here. Compile source into a code object that can be executed by exec or eval. So it's pretty much preparing, whatever code's in here so it can run by exec. Here, let me zoom in a little. It's probably kind of tiny on your side. So it's using a f string. I think that's what it's called, a format string, whatever. And it's setting this equal to result. So I also did look into compile a little bit. This is just there's 3 parameters, which is I guess this is the code, this is the file, and this is I think the format. I don't exactly know the name of the parameter, but it's preparing it for an exec, which is what we're gonna do. No file name is being used, so they pass in string since it's not being used, and then this is the code, right? So it's getting in that current health, making it an integer. Same thing for attack power, but as you can see for the operator, which should be like a minus, plus, maybe divide, multiply, whatever, an operator. It doesn't do anything to it. It just adds it in there plain text. So right away I knew, cool, this is what I need to prepare my attack for. And then once Once I figure this out, then I just have to execute it. So after a lot of testing, let's get a burp suite going. I'm going to send this in the repeater so I can do a lot of testing in it and just keep sending packets. Let's make this a post. Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't really zoom this in. I'm not really sure how to do that. Anyways, let's do that a post. Pass in the route. Get health. I think there's a few things I need. I mean, I don't really know if I need to change this. Oh, wait. I know an easier way for this. So when you actually click on these cards here, it's making a post request. And that's where it does the, the get health thing. So as you see, it's already here. So I can just pass this one into the repeater, make things a little easier for me. So we can leave these values as is. The one we want to mess with is the operator. And I'm going to tell you right now, I already have the payload. It's this right here. And I'm just going to break it down real quick. Paste that. Cool. So basically what I'm making it do is kind of like an if-else statement. So let's go back to this code here. And I'm just going to mess with this. So the payload that I'm sending it, the current health is going to be 0. It doesn't matter what it is. Same thing for attack power. I just passed in 0 because we need to pass in integers or else we're going to get some error. Or maybe not, but point being, I passed in integers because the one we want to mess with is operator. So what I passed in was, what I put in here is if 1 is equal to 2, else, and then my code. So what's going on here is it's setting result equal to 0 if 1 is equal to 2, which obviously, that's like a rhetorical statement, so that I can so it sets it equal to whatever code I add into the end. And you're probably thinking, okay, what about that 0, right? That's where this pound, hash, whatever you want to call it, comes in. It just comments it out. So it's pretty much like doing result is equal to code here. So it comments out the rest. Let's move it here. No, just so you can see the, there you go. So it comments out the 0 at the end right here. And then the actual code that I put is this right here. Let me explain it real quick. Okay. So, as you can see, this file does not have the OS imported. The reason why we want that is so we can run, OS commands such as cat, ls, maybe even some, reverse shell type of thing going. So we needed to get OS imported. I tried to do, like import OS and, different type of ways. It wasn't really working out for me. So I actually found this syntax here, imports the OS. And then I found initially what I was doing was import OS system, let's say ls for now, which worked kind of, but when this statement would run, it would execute this code. However, when you actually got to exec, which is what we needed to get the return, and this step here, it would kind of not error out actually. Let me backtrack a little bit. So this statement would run our code here, but it wouldn't necessarily return anything. It would kind of just print it into, I guess, the server, you could say. And since and it would think we're not returning anything, so it would say result equal to 0. So when we run exec, our actual result would be 0, which is not what we want, obviously. So I had to do a little digging, and then that's where I found p open. So what does that even do actually? I didn't even look it up. I just kind of just tested it. Let's look at this manual. P open pipe stream. So it pretty much 14. So yeah, it opens a process. Uh, yeah, that's all you really need to know. So it opens a process. It lets me execute this code, which um, just cat out the actual flag. Initially, I did ls kind of just to see where I am within the file system, and then from there I was able to backtrack based on the code that was provided. And read just returns that value for me, and then we have the hash at the end, which I guess I accidentally got rid of. So after that long-winded explanation, if we were to run this payload, great. If we were to run this payload, what is going on? Then we get our flag. I was missing a little space here, but that's our flag. Code injections are great. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It was pretty straightforward, pretty simple. I found the vulnerability really quickly. It kind of just took me a while to figure out the payload for this. But yeah, not super complicated. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. If anything I said is wrong, I'm here to learn. So any, feedback is greatly appreciated. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, all those good things, and hopefully I can start making more content. I've been doing a lot of Hack the Box stuff. Just as you know, it's against their policies to kind of upload stuff when stuff are still active. So yeah, peace out.